routing protocol. So the difference between distance vector routing protocols and link state routing protocols are many, and we're going to talk about those things in our next video where we have them broadly discussed, and then we will talk about them. They have some very few differences, but link state routing protocols have a greater advantage over distance vector routing protocols, because most of the distance vector routing protocols are classful and all that. So they have some problems. So, but there's only one type of exterior routing protocol, that is the path vector. Okay, so we have different types of distance vector routing protocols. We have RIP version 2, we even have RIP version 1 and IGRP, but they're outdated, so that's why you don't see them here. So RIP version 2 and EIGRP are distance vector routing protocols but interior, and we also have OSPF and ISIS. We have we have only OSPF, and there's nothing like, we see there OSPF version 2. The difference is that we have OSPF version 2 and version 3. Version 3 here is for IP version 6. So this OSPF version 2 and ISIS are the link state routing protocols, and they here depends on the status of the link, and then distance vector routing protocols depend on the other routers, and these ones, they don't depend on the other routers. They have to depend on the status of the link. So we're going to broaden that later. We're going to talk about that at a very specific. So for path vector routing protocol, we have only one type. We have BGP, Border Gateway Routing Protocol. So I'm just saying these acronyms. This one, RIP, stands for Routing Information Protocol. EIGRP stands for Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. OSPF stands for Open Shortest Path Plus, and ISIS stands for Intermediate System to Intermediate System. BGP is Border Gateway Routing Protocol. So the IP version 6 version of BGP is called Border Gateway Border Gateway Protocol Multi-Protocol. So that is BGP MP. So you can understand that. So they just have different names that they call them in IP version 6, like this one, RIP NG, RIP and Routing Information Protocol Next Generation. That's how they call it in IP version 6 as RIP name. So EIGRP is just EIGRP. For OSPF, it's just OSPF version 3 instead of version 2. ISIS is just ISIS for IP version 6. So that's just a naming convention. So how the names change. So like I said, we have RIP protocols and routing protocols that are developed to meet the need of larger networks, OSPF, EIGRP, ISIS, and so on and so forth. But for smaller networks that are not more than 15 routers, you can use, or 16 routers, you can use RIP version 2, because RIP version 2 has a hop count limit, so it cannot go more than 16 hops. Okay, if it is IP version 4, 16 routers. If it is IP version 6, it's 15 routers. The difference is because with IP version 4, the hop count begins from the next router. Okay, with IP version 6, the hop count begins at the router, the originating router. So if you come to an exam, you are asked how many hops in IP version 6. You have 15 routers. The number of hops is 15. With IP version 4, the number of hops, the number of routers is 15, and you ask how many hops is 14. So with IP version 4, the number of hops begins starting from the next router, and IP version 6 starts from the originating router. The purpose of dynamic routing protocol is that they discover the remote networks dynamically, and they maintain up-to-date routing information without the administrative intervention. They choose the best path by themselves. They need to know which route has the lowest administrative distance. If it knows that the administrative distance, this link is the lowest, it will use that link. If that link goes down, they will automatically recalculate and choose another best path. So their ability to find a new path if the current path is no longer available. Let's say, for instance, here, let's take an example. This router 1, okay, normally it will not, the router 1 would not use all these links to communicate maybe to the LAN that is on router 3. So router 1 might be using this link. Let's take an example, this link as the primary link. With dynamic routing protocols, if this link is chosen, is because router 1 and router 3 agrees that they can use this link to communicate to each other's LANs. And router 1 and router 2 also can agree to use this link, and router 3 and router 2 can also use to agree on this link. Now, how about if router 1's this link, okay, is good for router 1 to communicate to router 3, But if router 1 has to communicate through router 2, it finds out that the link through here to go to router 3 and to router 2 is the best than going directly here. Like for instance, I don't want to go here because it's too bad, but I can take this line all the way here to router 2. It will choose this link no matter how long it is, but if it is the fastest, if it has the largest administrative distance, or if it has the lowest metric, the router 1 will always choose router 3 through router 3, and it goes to router 2's LAN here. So it's very important that you guys know that not long the way, but how fast the way is and how clear the way is for me to get there, not how long I'm going to take or how long the route is. So if this link automatically comes down, for instance, router 1 would say, oh, I lose this link to router 3. Router 3 will say, okay, you can no longer use this link through me, so try another way. So router 1 will say, okay, I have another way here, so I'm going to activate this link now to communicate or send an update to router 2 saying that I was using that other link, but it is down, so therefore I am using you to communicate. So the communication will come to router 2, then it comes to router 3, and then to router 3's LAN because this link is gone down. So I hope this is very clear. So that's how dynamic routing protocols do. So the main component of dynamic routing protocols include the data structure, the routing protocol, and the algorithm. So each routing protocol has a data structure. That means they have three tables that they will create. So each dynamic routing protocol has three tables that it will create, and let's look at those. Tables. Okay. Let me just take this one out and bring back text. So let me just make sure that I increase this thing bigger. Okay, I didn't increase it. Alright, so we have three tables that each routing protocol is going to create. So we have the neighbor table, that's the neighbor table, the routing table, sorry, I'm supposed to put that down. The neighbor table, the routing table,